Even in the digital age, you're bombarded with information.
The federal government is asking Lagosians to believe.
Speaker of the House, Femi Bajabi.
It's getting harder and harder to find the truth in the disinformation or to put today's headlines into context.
One of our soldiers shot me, Sandra, on my ribs.
That's why I'm here. I ask the tough questions that get to the root of things.
The previous election had allegations of rigging.
Nobody has been able to prove that 2018 elections were rigged.
I tell you the history behind the news.
I need to take you back. I need to give you a bit of history. Now, Zimbabwe got its independence.
I cut through the spin and show you the facts.
No, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
That's the reason why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
570,000 of you.
630,000 people listen to Hard Facts.
They know what they're looking for. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: no PIB until 2021. National Assembly says it won't review the bill until next year. So all the proposed restructuring of NMPC and the changes to the oil sector rules are on pause for now. Maybe next week we're going to take a look at that particular problem in more detail, right? And we're going to take a look at why this particular thing, this oil sector reform of a thing, continues to enter the news, but never happens. Never gets to the end of that particular rope. Unlike the PIB, Hard Facts is happening this year. We're going to start with the big three. Let's talk about the commissioning of the inland port in Onitsha. I can hear my brothers singing 40 feet container, 40 feet. Then we're going to talk about a pastor getting jailed for the disappearance of an infant, and the judge accusing the police of having a hand in it. That's our second story. And then let's talk about the Lagos state government warning all of you about abusing antibiotics. Today is Wednesday. That means I'm bringing you the glass ceiling. Now, today's glass ceiling, let's talk about cooking. Specifically, let's talk about some men who say their wives must cook fresh food every day because they won't eat food from the freezer. Yes, 4 p.m. That's when that conversation will happen. At 3:45, we have a conversation coming your way about how to invest in Forex, how to trade Forex. And they'll be here, right here on Hard Facts, talking to you about that at 3:45. So immediately after that conversation from 4 p.m., you and I, glass ceiling, let's talk about cooking. On today's Big Hard Fact, let's talk some more about the PNID case. Yesterday, you heard from the experts. Today, I want to hear from you. You're going to have news updates at the top of every hour. You need to listen to every minute of the show so that you can play just a minute and win 10,000 naira. It's not happening right now, so don't call me right now to play just a minute. It typically happens at the very end of the show. After the news at 6, we've got Lagosa coming your way. And after Lagosa, Voice of America brings you Let's Talk right here on Hard Facts. It's at 6:30, so don't miss that either. I'll be giving away more information as we go along with more things that come your way. My name is Sandra Ezekwesili, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but let's get started with today's big three. Will the opening of Onitsha port help decongest Apapa? Does the police do enough to protect the weak from the powerful, do you think? And why are so many Nigerians abusing antibiotics? Those are the big three. Let's talk. Our first story is that containers can now move from China straight to Onitsha. It's been happening since earlier this year, but yesterday made it official. The federal government officially commissioned the Onitsha inland port for operation. Now, Onitsha port isn't on the ocean, obviously. It's on the River Niger. So the way it works is the ships land at Onitsha port and the containers get cleared. After clearing, they are now put on barges and the barges bring them up the Niger to Onitsha. So basically, the East now has a direct gateway to international commerce. We talked about this a few weeks ago, remember? Right? But I want us to get into a bit of detail right now. Before this, goods coming to the east or from the east had to pass through Lagos. Essentially, our Lagos ports were handling all the commerce. That's why Apapa and Tinkan are so congested. That's part of why, anyway. I mean, it's not the only reason, but that's part of why. And recently, the congestion has gotten very bad. And so Maersk, the shipping line, has been asking for a solution. They don't like how their ships end up stuck in Lagos, waiting for containers or having to return empty. So the federal government started to work with them on a solution. And when you do the analysis, you realize that most of the cargo is going to a few major commercial centers: Lagos, Port Harcourt, Onitsha, Aba, Kano. So if there's a way to move the cargo for those other places away from Lagos, you have the congestion and everybody wins. Now, on Hard Facts, we are very happy about this. As you know, I'm always making noise about the ports. I keep saying we need the other ports active so that all the pressure isn't only on ports. Because remember, there's no serious railway network from Lagos to the rest of Nigeria. So after cargo lands here, it's so difficult to move it from Lagos to the rest of Nigeria. It's so difficult to move it to the rest of the country. Hopefully, the Apapa rail is finished very soon, but until then, we're relying on trucks to evacuate the containers. Those are the same trucks that are congesting the highways all the way from Apapa to Costain. Those are the same trucks, by the way, that don't latch their containers and are killing Lagosians every day. So the sooner we can get them off of our roads here in Lagos, the better, Abby. So that's another way that this Onitsha news is good for Lagos. Then there's a matter of population as well. Lagos is Nigeria's most crowded city. The big reason why is, in many ways, Lagos is the only game in town. If you want to rise to the pinnacle in most professions or businesses, Lagos is the destination. If you simply want a decent job served, Lagos is also the destination. Why? Because there are more opportunities here than everywhere else. And that's because most of the commerce is here. And that's because where all the functional ports are in Lagos. But now, if we have another functional port system in the south-south and the southeast, hopefully another commercial hub that can rival Lagos will grow. And that way, in the future, when people want to move away for opportunities, Lagos will not be the only option. There'll be Onitsha as well. There'll be Port Harcourt, just like there was when I was growing up. Port Harcourt was such a huge hub when I was growing up. Like, you told people you lived in Port Harcourt, I was like, oh my God, hey, you were hailed as like a big girl or big boy. They'll think you were seeing money. You go to Port Harcourt to get a job because it was such a hub. Aba as well. People can move to Aba instead of moving to Lagos because, these are commercial hubs. Let me get your thoughts. 0700-993-993-993. What do you think about the Onitsha port getting commissioned? What do you think about the fact that right now, goods from China and Hong Kong and Malaysia can land in Onitsha through One? What effects do you think it's going to have on commerce and the Nigerian economy? What about the effects on Lagos? Are you an importer? Are you an exporter? Are you somebody who works in shipping? How has this been going? I'd like to hear from you. 0700-993-993-993. Ebuka is in Mushing. Ebuka, thank you so much for calling us.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy.
Yes, welcome.
Just like you said,
yeah.
20 feet, 40 feet.
40 feet container, importer, exporter.
In fact, then again, they should also put a red network, because not just the seaport, motorable road and railway in east, so that Lagos can be the Kiana, what I say, here it is matter for the population.
So
that I come from my village, enter Onitsha. I lived in Onitsha. Was it 2005 to 2009 before I came to Lagos? Onitsha is very busy place, busy guys. Then Aba. One thing I know Onitsha, to be, even a robber, they are good people selling medicine, import medicine from all over the world.
Okay.
So if you have a container, and most of us here in Lagos importing from China people, I just put on myself the other day that may China no colonize or may they not give us their mind. Because if you go inside market, Sandra, you won't differentiate from original and China products. So
but China product has quality now, and I hear that a lot of the reason why you have a substandard China product is that our people go there and go and tell them to make it substandard.
Yes, but these days now, like even the phone I used to call you now, China now. So, boy, it's just everything. We don't really have our own. Just like Moto, at least should have been proud that okay, everywhere, even if I enter street road, I will be seeing Moto. But that's how it is in Nigeria. Everything China. Now we have standards. Take so many other for let me call them. So many products here. So for that report, Sandra, it's a win-win situation. We need them now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling me. I appreciate it, Ebuka. Honestly, thanks for calling. We've got Austin in Surulere on the line. Hello, Austin. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Sandra Ezekwesili.
Good to have you on the show, Austin.
Yeah, I think that's a laudable thing that the federal government can do, if it is not just on paper. You understand? Because it will really decongest Lagos.
Okay.
And really probably make Lagos the mega city. Because Lagos is becoming something unbearable for a lot of people. A lot of people are losing money instead of making money. So if we have another port, and another one I would be suggesting is also Calabar, because these are ports that are dormant and are supposed to be getting revenue for the federal government, So it's a laudable thing for the federal government to do as long as they implement it effectively. Effectively here means making sure that ships really leave China and get to Onitsha.
Okay. Well, ships are not leaving China and getting to Onitsha. They're leaving China and going to Onitsha.
Okay.
They're now going from Onitsha to Onitsha.
Fantastic. If the federal government can implement that, then like you said, Port Harcourt is a hub. When we all were growing up, Port Harcourt was like the next place to go to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so many things are not going on well at all in Nigeria. So we want to believe that the cartel behind making sure that only Lagos is the commercial center of Nigeria can allow this laudable project
to succeed. Well, it's been happening since early this year, so it looks like it's here to stay. Austin, thank you so much for calling me. We've got Benny Six in Ogun State. Benny Six, how are you?
I'm fine. Afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, you people are doing a good job there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Concerning the seaport being open at Onitsha, it's a laudable achievement, and it's a welcome development too. Because sometimes I really wonder what our leaders are thinking sometimes, like as if they don't even go to school outside this country. Though most of them went to school outside the country, because they see how traffic have been managed there. They see how developments have been brought up. They see how things have been worked outside there. But they will come here, they will manage you, mismanage you, do everything anyhow they like. Look at the traffic in Lagos State, as if nobody that can pull out this kind of surprises. Like, look, okay, fine. This kind of seaport now will reduce traffic a lot. Because I work in a factory here, and I see most of these containers they brought into our company are from that Apapa area.
I see.
So, because this opening that seaport there now, it will relieve traffic down here, and there will be movement of everything will be fine here. So that is one of the biggest achievements so far that I've seen since 1999 to date. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benny Six, for calling us. Tarila Murphy on WhatsApp says, if you see how relieved I was hearing about this Onitsha thing, I'm so happy. Praise the heavens. Tarila Murphy, thanks for sending your message in. Sandra, I read about the commission of Onitsha Port on Twitter. It's a good news, but there must be roads that are motorable as well. I sent a tweet to you about Nimsi. Please take a look at it for me. All right? I'll try to do that. Uchenna is on the line. Uchenna is at Shomolu today. Uchenna, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, my name is Uchenna. I'm calling from Shomolu.
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, concerning this port issue. In fact, I'm very, very happy because we use only Lagos State port as if there is no any other means to get containers around the whole Nigerians. So, but as they open it now, I believe that it will make it very easier to anybody in this country, and it will create more employment. I hear that the best seaport we have in this country is Port Harcourt, that big vessels will come to the terminal and discharged. And in Lagos State, when big vessels come, it will be at the middle of the sea, and another ship will go, and then we do transload, which it costs a lot of expenses. So, and it will make it easy for everybody in this nation to get what you want at the normal time you need it. All this story, hold up, whatever in Lagos State, this and that, all of them will reduced. So I'm very, very happy for federal government to open it, and I believe that they will use it and create job opportunity for Nigerians to get what they are doing every blessed day. Thank you. God bless you.
Bless you as well. Thank you so much, Uchenna, for calling us. All right, it's 22 minutes past 3. If you just joined the show, hello to you. I told you that the containers that come into China that come in from China can now go straight to Onitsha. It's been happening since earlier this year. Yesterday made it official. The federal government officially commissioned the Onitsha inland port for operation. Now, the port is not on an ocean. It's not on the ocean. It's on the River Niger. So that means that ships have to land at Onitsha, and when the containers are cleared in Onitsha, they're put on barges. The barges will now take it to Onitsha through the Niger. So it's amazing, right? And if you remember, we talked about this some weeks ago. We've had organizations like Maersk complain, their shipping line, complain that they have to wait for so long for their business to clear because the goods kept coming through Lagos. If goods wanted to come from the east or go to the east, it had to come through Lagos. Lagos ports were handling all the commerce. That's why Tinkan and Apapa are so congested, right? Or that's one of the reasons why it's so congested. So Maersk, has been asking for a solution. And the federal government decided, okay, let's work together and find a solution. And you take a look at, most of the cargo that comes into Nigeria. It's going to a few commercial centers: Lagos, Port Harcourt, Onitsha, Abakano. So there has to be a way to move the goods from Lagos or away from Lagos to these other cities, and so that's what this is about. That's what this is trying to do, right? So there are so many reasons why this is a good story, and I'm wondering which of those reasons stands out for you the most. Which reason stands out for you the most? You've got the matter of population, you've got the matter of safety, congestion on the roads, so this happening it's a pretty great thing, I think. But what do you think? On WhatsApp, if Onitsha starts full operation, that means movement of the people back home. It's a welcome development thanks to the federal government, SON says. This is highly commendable, Sandra. What about shipping coming from other countries aside China? Taufik from Ijesha is asking. I'll have to look up that information and share that with you because I'm not very sure, and I wouldn't want to share with you something that I'm not, very, very sure about, right? But hey, we're going to take a quick break and then come back and I'll talk to you about story 2. Don't forget that at 3:45 we have some people in the studio who will teach you how to trade Forex. Don't go away.
Stay right here on the Big 3 on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is the Big 3.
The Big 3 on the Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, let's have this conversation on 99.3 Nigeria Info. A pastor in Ondo is jailed for the disappearance of a baby. And the judge says the police are also complicit. That's our second story. In November last year, Gold Kolawole vanished. He was a year old at the time. It happened in a church in Akure. His parents had kept him in the church or in the church's children's section during the service in the care of the church workers. His parents never saw him again. So for the last 1 year, they've been trying to get justice. They've been trying to find out what happened to their child. Eventually, the police got involved in the matter because the church refused to give them any answers. They had to turn to the police. But according to them, according to the parents, the police did not really help matters. They were not putting pressure on the church. The matter got so heated that an angry crowd eventually burned the church down. Eventually, the police arrested the pastor. His name is Samuel Babatunde. They arrested him and 5 other church workers. And now, almost 1 year later, a court has found them guilty of kidnap and conspiracy to kidnap and sentenced them to life in prison. Quite the story there. Now, something the judge said while reading the verdict stood out to me. The judge accused the police command in Ondo State of, quote, complicity, connivance, and compromise, end quote. The biggest story in the country right now is NSAS. People both inside the government and outside the government are accusing SARS in particular and the police in general of targeting citizens for harassment. But there's another dimension to this police problem that we see clearly in this particular story. There are situations where the police doesn't do enough to protect the weak from the powerful. In fact, a lot of Nigerians believe that the police sometimes allow themselves to be the tools of the powerful against the weak. I mean, you have a child from a couple that disappeared. 1 year old, a 1-year-old infant disappears. He disappears from the hands of a church. Churches are powerful institutions, both culturally and in terms of wealth. Pastors are powerful people because they command respect and influence. And now you have this couple with little or no resources, and their baby disappears from the church. They need the state to stand up for them, to help them get their baby back. And the agent of the state, when it comes to matters like this, is the police. But what do we hear? We hear the judge say the police were complicit, conniving, and compromised. When that's the case, how does the common man get justice? And this is not the only case that we've heard something like this happen. We hear about it all the time. We hear about it in rape cases where the police is used to terrorize or threaten the victim. We hear about it when a so-called big man owes somebody money but uses the police to harass his creditor. We hear about it in so many situations, right? And so my question is, why do we have so many cases of the police either refusing to protect the rights of the weak against the strong, or even acting directly to undermine them? And more important than that first question is, how do we put an end to this? What do you think about this particular case? How do we put an end to this? 0700 993 993. Yes, you can still talk about the first story if you want to. And you can send me a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. 080 959 75805. You can also tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. And you can share your thoughts on Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Alex is in Ikorodu. Alex, thank you so much for calling us on the show today.
All right.
Hello, Alex. You're live on the show. You're talking to Sandra now.
Yeah. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Good
Sandra.
afternoon. Hi.
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 Yeah, I'd like to contribute on the topic.
Yes,
SARS.
go ahead.
Yeah, to me, I believe that the SARS are not supposed to be scrapped. They are very useful anyway in this society. And where I'm expecting people to talk about and maybe where SARS is supposed to be is it should always be on the highway, because that is where we have robbery cases. The armed robbers, attacking people. And this Onitsha is good as they shifted, they opened the Onitsha port, because I think when they go there, because I heard of robbery cases, the robbery cases in that area is very, very high. So I think we will need them there. we need their activeness there. So, on that case. So the pastor's case, that man, the pastor, I think the pastor, they didn't go deep inside that matter well, because they supposed to, to me, I think they are supposed to try to find out where the child really is and where he is, because the pastor might be innocent, might be guilty also. So it should not be that he's going to prison for being innocent.
Okay. All right, Alex. Yeah. Thank you for calling to share that with us. Somebody wanted to find out earlier on if it's just goods from China, and someone was kind enough to respond to that and say that so far shipping from China, Hong Kong, and Malaysia is landing in Onitsha via Onair. So yeah, you have your answer to that. Maersk and other shipping lines may add other routes eventually if they feel like it makes commercial sense, right? We've got MI in Akoka on the line. MI, hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra Ezekwesili.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
On the first story, very quickly, you see, in the market, there are many roads that lead to the market. It's only the evil forest that has only one way. Do you understand? So I'm happy what happened. I remember that I was saying on it, not direct, Dalet. So every time container on the ice, you're on a Lagos, on a port. Do you know that you to import from China, right? Is expensive. Then to move it from the ports to your place is more expensive. Do you understand? It doesn't make economic sense now. That's why goods are necessarily expensive. Do you understand? So businesses can't plan. That is the superpower of businesses. Once they cannot plan, it's not fire luck.
Exactly.
So, see, we need more. Lagos cannot be only. We like Lagos, but it cannot be the only mega center now. Every that is on our Port Harcourt. So I think it's good, not just for Igbo people, but generally, Nigeria should wake up. Like, they can't be waiting for one person to give you handouts now. You understand? So I think it's a very good thing. Everybody should wake up. Nobody should. No, this is a. I like what is happening. Everybody is realizing, wait. We are taking care of our own destiny. We are not waiting for things to happen. We're going to make things happen. So all the man like that. Because then on the second story, see, there's a man of God and there's the God of man. Do you understand?
Okay.
Not everybody that is a pastor that they can call the man of God. Do you understand?
Okay.
I think, we need to demystify some of our religious leaders. Because when someone gets pastor, you say, no, this one Jesus, Father, I can't. I'm like, we need to demystify people. Do you understand? He's first a man before a man of God. So if according to the law, he's done things wrong, we should go to jail. Do you understand? Let's not say, no, we can't say anything about him, he's a man of God. No. Listen, when a king is naked, don't tell us that he's wearing an invisible garment. We have to call our leaders. It's not disrespect. So, do you understand? If I do something wrong, call me out. Don't be. There are two worshiping people, worshiping Messiah complex. We worship people, no consequences. That's why we find ourselves where we are. My brother, my sister, well done, Jerry.
Thank you for calling me, MI from Akoka. Always a very passionate submission to be expected from MI. Samuel in Aja, hello, how are you?
Fine, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Please, quickly, about the pastor issue. I actually watched the video when it happened last year on Facebook. You understand? It is a white garment church, right?
I don't know if it's a white garment church.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you what I watch it live on. Yes. That's what I'm saying, right? I can't see. So, what happened is this. Even on the video as well, there's a particular department in that church that a blood is found. That is what anger people in the wood to burn down the church. I watch it live.
I see.
You understand?
Okay.
And this is not the first time of that happening in that church, because fine, they didn't see a child in church. They can't just arrest the pastor and jail him. You understand? Yes. But what happened is this: this was the first time of that incident happening in that church. Is that it based on what people are what people are saying in the wood? Then this and that, Samuel, this they have been doing this for long time. They have to run away. Even police came and chased them away on that Facebook. You understand? But my take is this: they jail them fine, they kill them fine. But what about the child? Where is the child? Would the baby come back to the parents? Will the parents keep their child back? That is just the painful part of it. Seriously, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Samuel, for calling me. On Twitter, Joy Forever says, Sandra, it will be a welcome development. At least it will reduce transport congestion. Also, it will improve the economy of other states. As long as the prophet is guilty, good for the parents of the lost child. What is Lagos doing about those abusing weed and drugs? She's talking about our final story, which we're going to get into in a few minutes. On myself, Beni says, any sensible country won't monopolize everything in one city when alternatives abound. How do you explain a situation whereby it is cheaper to import into Nigeria than clear goods from Lagos ports? Lagos needs sanity, and the only way is to open up other air and seaports. John Bosco Wele Mighty says the Anambra and Delta people have been crying for too long about this project from the time of GG's administration till date, but it's a good one for them that finally here we are, and I want to say a bigger congratulations to them. I'm pulling it off. Onitsha is all about business. HR for Cars says, Sandra, on the issue of the inland dry port in Onitsha, while it is commendable, why can't the River Niger be dredged to enable ships to go directly to Onitsha and by extension Oguta? This would open up the entire southeast and curb rural-urban migration. I quite agree with you. Southeast Mafia says, Onitsha Port is a great news. The pastor and the police should be properly investigated. What steps are Lagos government taking in helping its citizens reduce the intake of antibiotics, even when it's being prescribed to us by our various hospital or doctors? Right, let's go from the police not protecting the weak to us not protecting our health. I'm talking about antimicrobial resistance, microbial resistance, or AMR, right? That's our third story. It's a story because the Lagos state government is warning us about it on their Twitter handle. Now, AMR is what happens when you don't use your antibiotics properly. Eventually, you're going to get an infection that antibiotics cannot fight. So any small thing, where do you go pop am, you pop am, you go pop am. Eventually, when the main thing come, you pop antibiotics, no they work. They will say, they sick, no they heal. They sick, no they no Greek go. Now village people cause am, no be village people. Now you don't use your hand, drink antibiotics, so they work for your body again. Now whenever you start an antibiotic treatment and you don't complete the dose, or you take antibiotics when you don't need them, you're creating the environment for antimicrobial resistance. And it's a very rampant problem. According to the Lagos state government, 42% of people who go on antibiotics do not complete their dose. So 2 out of every 5 people who are taking antibiotics are making themselves a breeding ground for antibiotic-resistant infections. And this thing is not a joke, oh. Don't be smart, you know. If we start getting infections that antibiotics cannot treat, we're finished, though. We will have no alternative treatments. We would essentially have returned to the days before Louis Pasteur discovered penicillin. Back then, life expectancy was much lower because infections were killing people up and down. So let's talk about this antibiotics of a thing. Let's talk about how we use it. How often do you finish your antibiotics dose? Let's even start from there. Me, myself, personally, I'm guilty of it. Like, once I start taking antibiotics and I start to feel better, I stop taking it. I have to set reminders to, force myself to finish the dose. How about you? When it's prescribed for you, how often do you finish your antibiotic dose? Or are you like me and you stop taking it when you feel better? You know how the doctor or the pharmacist tells you take one tablet twice a day for 5 days, but by the third day you feel better, so, some people stop. Are you one of those people who stops, or do you keep going for the remaining 2 days? Then here's my second question. How often do you take antibiotics without a prescription? So if you start to have a fever, do you immediately go and buy antibiotics and start taking? 0700-993-993. I really want to hear from doctors and pharmacists and other health workers on this particular conversation as well. How rampant is it that people take antibiotics improperly? How often do you hear about people self-medicating with antibiotics? How often do they fail to finish the dosage? I want a doctor to call and scare us. Give us a call and tell us how bad AMR can get. Tell us what it looks like. We've got UK, I think. Is that UK or IJK?
Correct, UK.
UK. Thanks for calling us.
All right. My bit of contribution goes to the news about the Onitsha
port. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so painful when, you have any...
UK? Hello? Oh, that's unfortunate. Call me back if you can, all right? We've got comments on Facebook. Let's take a look at some of them. This one says, the congesting Lagos port is long overdue. Passing through Apapa is hell. It's a good thing that containers will be offloading in Onitsha. Next is rail line from Lagos to Onitsha. If Lagos is connected to East via rail, wow. Godwin Akani Yene says, I've been involved in these embarrassments by SARS in Port Harcourt. It was very sad. I was extorted forcefully. 50,000, and for the pastor, well, there is God. Well, we're not talking about SARS today, Sha. We're just, having a conversation about the culture of some Nigerian police officers. Sade is in Ikeja. Hello, Sade. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sandra. How are you doing today?
Good to have you on the show. I'm very well.
Yes, I'd like to comment on what's the first topic again? Plus, my memory went blank.
It's okay.
Let me start with the antibiotic one.
Yes.
So I guess I don't use antibiotics even when it's prescribed.
Okay.
And then, because I'm usually bad at remembering, so especially when they tell you use three in a day. So I end up just forgetting. And so when I do forget, I end up starting over again. And I do finish. So I don't even like antibiotics. If I don't have the option to, I don't take it. And if I do, I usually ask them, is there like the 1 for 1 a day? Because that's easier for me to keep track of. Anything, once it's like three in a day and all that,
8 days.
I just never.
You have to take it for 8 days. But
yes. So, but unfortunately, because I have a friend that's a doctor, he's like, you need to start again. Because especially I'm like, what? I missed 1 or 2. Is it okay? Can I just continue? He's like, no, you need to start again.
My God.
So usually I try not to. And the very first topic, the Onitsha port, it's a good thing. I think the government, if I heard correctly, are trying to push everything because there's a port in Kano. An inland port is what it's called, or something.
Yeah,
inland.
you're right.
They move items from here to Kano. The drawback is that it takes forever to get there. Or when it does get there, that's an option people have. So opening other ports, whether in or coast, the ones by the coast, is a good thing for us because then it makes. It just decongest Lagos, which is always good.
Yes, indeed. Sade, thank you so much for calling. I love it when women call the show. All right, Lagos, I need to hand you over to the guys from Raleigh Academy. They have information that you need if you are thinking about investing in Forex. If Forex is something that you are considering investing in, then this particular information is something that you want to pay attention to. We have conversations coming up after this particular one from Raleigh Academy. We're going to talk about cooking. Remember, I want to talk to you about husbands who require their wives to cook a fresh meal for them every day. Are you one of such husbands? Are you one of such wives? Why do you do it? How do you feel about doing it? Let's talk about that on the other side of 4 o'clock. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
This is Hard Facts.
All right, welcome and good to